Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? It's Friday. Yeah. It is Friday. It's early because it's the early time slot. And we got a printer to unbox. We got a Qidi. Qidi? I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Qidi. Qidi? I don't know. I've been told by a few different people it's a different way. But either way, it's here. Look at it. It's an X-Smart3. I know a few people have the bigger one. Between me and you, they have one that goes up to like 304. Is it 340 or 350? I wanted the little one. I wanted the little one. Look at this thing. Look at this. I think this is a good size. I think this is a good size for an enclosed little high-speed printer. I like this size. You guys know me. I like small form factor. I'm on a little printer kick until we got to figure out where the hell we're putting a Prusa XL. Then we'll figure that out. We'll come to that road when we get to it. But right now, I'm on a little printer kick, and I wanted the small one. And also, this is the one they wanted to send me. So we got the small one. So today we're taking a look at the Qidi Tech X-Smart3, which is one of their, they've got 3 new printers out. They've got the X Max 3, the X Plus 3, and the X-Smart3. And this is the smallest one, and it's also the slowest at 500 millimeters a second. Aren't you glad we're like, let's just get it out of the way for everyone who's going to comment and post that this is a bamboo clone. Come on, chat, do it now. Call it a clone now. Please, everyone, just do it now. Get it over with. Get it out of your system, okay? Because I don't know about me and you, but I'm glad we're kind of like, thank you, Bamboo, for dragging the market kicking and screaming from, instead of countless Ender 3 clones that are just cheap and slow, we're now looking at countless enclosed NEMA 17 Core XY clones that hopefully the quality stays up there. If we stay within that $5,000 to $1,000 market where machines are actually kind of well built and they can actually deliver at what they're promising and they don't fall apart and they actually are good out of the box, like, I can dig it. I'm sure you can dig it. So I'm okay with that. Enclosed Core XY is nothing new. We've been playing around with it for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It's just, now we got commercial variants that are kind of decent. Okay. So yeah, this is the slowest one. The other ones are rated up to 600 millimeters a second. So, before we do that, some housekeeping. Before we get to this housekeeping, first off, hey you, do you want to win some filament? Because you're going to win some filament. Yes, you, right now. Enter to win, link in the description. Somebody's going to win, and that person is going to be you. Not you, not you, not you, but you. Yes, you, the one I'm talking to right now. You are going to win. So make sure you enter to win some Polymaker filament. Link in the description below. We give away a spool every stream, and also if you just want to check them out, they make great printer chow. If you want to buy some, link in the description. Affiliate link doesn't cost you anything extra. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. Also, the community challenge for the month of April is actually live in the Discord now. I know it's a little bit late, but it's up in the Discord. So link in the description, join the Discord if you haven't. Go to the bottom, go to the April challenge. It's funny prints. Either print something that's a meme, or just something that is funny that happened to you 3D printer related. You can win some awesome Only Benchies merch, link in the description as well, and some printer chow from Polymaker. Fair before Bamboo advertise it, nobody cared. I know. It's kind of nice that we're finally, you know, it is nice of Bamboo to drag the market kicking and screaming into what we've been doing DIY 5 years ago. Funny print fails. If it's funny, it'll work. So enter for that. Last Friday of the month, we'll be doing that contest giveaway. Also, there probably won't be a stream tomorrow. the wife's got to work. It is what it is. So it's just me and the little guy. So I probably won't be doing a stream tonight unless something changes. I'm going to try and do something Sunday. I don't know for sure. Updates in the Discord. I also got to get everything ready to go to Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest, because I'm flying out Thursday for that, and I haven't done anything to get ready for that, and I haven't done my taxes yet, and the prom is tomorrow. So yeah, okay. So that is that. I think that's it for housekeeping. There was supposed to be a video this weekend, and I completely scrapped it because I didn't like how it was turning out. I may do something else instead. We'll see. And then also, shout out to Qidi, lastly, for sending me this printer. There's no contract. They're not paying me. Words and opinions are my own. They are letting me keep the printer. I may give it away at a later date. We'll see. I got to give away that Saval SV06 Plus at some point. But this is, I'm free to say whatever. I like their picture on the box. It's a picture. Cool. How's that? Okay, let's do this. So for those that don't know what this is, Qidi Tech has come out with 3 printers recently. They're Clipper powered. That's one of the first things we're going to look into, is make sure it's open source Clipper and not Creality Clipper like the Sonic Pad BS. And then we're going to just take a look at this printer. So this is, it was going to happen eventually. After one company has success doing something, you're going to see it. So expect enclosed Core XYs to kind of become common. People are going to call them clones. Not really a clone. It's visually somewhat similar, but this isn't a new thing design-wise, and Core XY is not exactly a new thing. So there's going to be design similarities. Yes, there's only so many ways you can do a Core XY. So please don't go all crazy in the chat with clones. I've already blocked and banned enough people as is. It's getting really annoying really quick, and I'm not the only content creator in the 3D printing sphere who's getting really annoyed with the tribalism about all this. So let's just kind of, focus on the printer. So this is the X-Smart3. It's got Clipper, it's Core XY, it's got their high-speed extruder or whatever that is. We're going to take a look at this. It is running Clipper. It's got TMC 2209s. Their tool head, 600 grams, if that's what you want to know. There's the design. It does look very similar, don't get me wrong. Input shaping, blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. So if you want to know more about the printer, if you want to go through it all, links in the description if you want to buy one down there. It is, and I'm not going to say the discounted price because I don't agree with what companies do here. It is okay, this is American. Let me get to the global site. It is a $599 printer, okay? It is a $600 printer, okay? Right now, it's currently on a pre-sale for $479. It is a $600 printer, for those wondering. $600 US, okay? If you want to buy it pre-order, you do you. I'm not a fan of pre-ordering until reviews are out and whatnot. It's like video games, okay? Like video games. Don't pre-order. But if you want to, I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad. Derek, $10. Cheers. The truth is that open source 3D printers set the trend there. Yeah. And I'm not building a Voron for you. 50 RON. Okay, apparently some guy named Ron is a currency. Long time no see. I tried inverting my extruder motors by adding a minus to E steps and octapins. You got to put an exclamation mark to reverse the motor. In the direction pin, it's exclamation, not reverse, not a negative. Okay. And this printer, for those curious, the build volume is 180 by 180 by 170. So it's approximately Prusa mini size. Okay, so let's dig in. I haven't opened this box yet. So we got the special paper for leveling. So we got that. Oop, where is my mic actually? Put my mic on the right thing. So we got special paper for leveling. That's always good. And the manual. The USB flash drive. So this is Clipper. We got a USB flash drive. Got a 1/4 kilogram of filament. It's already opened. Okay. What do we got here? Probably PLA. Is it PLA? Doesn't say anywhere. I'm assuming it's PLA. Is it? Am I missing? Does it say anywhere on here what filament this actually is? I'm assuming it's PLA. But it doesn't actually say it's PLA. It's PLA temps, but it doesn't say PLA anywhere. Either way, we have that. M, $5. Cheers. I'm the new owner of an M+3. Like Creality was with the Sonic Pad, Qidi is new to clippers, so expect things to evolve. Qidi support is fantastic. I've only ever used one Qidi printer before. It was their XCF Pro. It was okay. I didn't have any major issues with it. I thought it was very pricey for the type of printer it was, but I don't really have any negatives to say about it. That printer had a bunch of hubbub around it because the skinned version of Cura it shipped with wasn't open source correctly. I'm not entirely sure how all the licensing works with Cura, but they didn't have like the source code for their variant of Cura release, so I know a few people weren't happy with that. So hopefully this is different. And I'm hoping the version of Clipper that ships on here is just Clipper, and it's not like what Creality did with the Sonic Pad. We got a spatula. We've got a filament holder thingy. Got a C14 power inlet thingy. We got a bunch of stuff that I'm going to drop, so I'm going to take this out. So what do we got here? We got a nozzle. It's a volcano nozzle, I think. Screws, some cutters, a fuse. The thing that I always stab myself with that goes right into the garbage. I've never used the needles. The acupuncture needles I have never used. We got a wrench, some Allen keys, and a bit of shrink wrap tube. That is that. Okay, so that is that. Let's get the printer out of the box. I like this size. So hopefully it's the same where you can just... Come on. Huzzah! I like when they bag a printer like this, so you can just pick it up with the bag. And then we also have... Oh, they got a little surprise on the bottom here for you. A glue stick. And I think that's it. Okay. I will say I like the size. I'm a fan of smaller printers. I've made that known many times. Most people don't need massive size printers. So I'm a fan of this size. It's actually not too bad. I'm assuming. There you go. So the filament sits on the back on a spool. How big of a spool? Can we do the big Chungus spools? It'll do the 600 millimeter spools that I got from Replitech. So it does do oversized spools. So that's nice. And while it doesn't roll, it spins okay. That's good. Mr. Minden, $20. Cheers to support your Rocky Mountain trip. Thank you. I am really looking forward to that. Put the spool holder in the top, lower, refer to the picture, directions, stuff. Does that lock? Oh, I guess if you got to put like a really small spool on it, you can lock it in place, I guess. Okay, cool. So let's go through the manual and see what we got here. Did the new car come in yet? No, and so it's finally hot. It was 32 degrees Celsius according to my car yesterday. guess what doesn't work all of a sudden on my current car? So I'm like, yesterday was the first time I actually went driving for a length of time in my car instead of the family car. And it was hot out yesterday. And guess what doesn't work right now? The air conditioning. It blows air. It's not hot air, but it blows air. When printing with TPU PLA, please remove the top cover. That's good to see. That's good to see. Whenever you're printing like PLA, TPU, you want to have as much airflow as possible. So having an easily removed top cover is nice. So let's get this. And what we're going to do is I want to see the controller on here. I want to see what they're running for a controller on this, because it's running Clipper. So Clipper, for those that don't know what Clipper is open source firmware. It's what we use on Vorons, and it allows you to take off-the-shelf hardware, run multiple MCUs, and run them really fast. So I think a few companies have been trying with Clipper on commercial machines, the BQ Hurricane, for example. But I think with these type of machines, we might finally see the age of commercial Clipper come to fruition. And I'm hoping they don't screw it up, because the Hurricane didn't really, it left a lot to be desired. Appreciate the honest reviews and no fuzz reviews. Cheers. I don't really do reviews. Please don't call this a review. Even like my Mark IV unboxing, I was actually, the original plan for this weekend, I have like a few hours of footage of the Mark IV, including me talking for like an hour. And I was going to put that out as kind of a first impression of the Mark IV, and I'm not. That was the original plan for this weekend's video, and I'm not going to do that because too many people would probably take it as a review, and it's not a review. So you can't review a printer, and also it's not done until the firmware comes out with input shaping and all that. It's not done yet. So, okay. So let's see, please. Okay. Do not place the machine on inflammable or explosive material or near high heat sources. That's good to know. Okay. Never reach inside the printer while it is operation. That's good to know. There's potential risk in burns. Do not place the printer in vibration or unstable environment. So blah, 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 blah. Cool. There are manuals, slicer software, videos, and other related information in the USB flash drive. That's good. Power settings. Okay. When product is manufactured, we have switched the volting according to the sales country, but please ensure. Okay. So first things first, put it on its side. Where is this? Okay, I'm gonna have to take this bottom plate off. Yeah, so first thing, it shows here that you can get at the switch, but there's a bottom plate here. So let's take this bottom plate off and see what we're working with. So let's take a look at what's under the hood here. Be careful of the +3. If you update Clipper, you will brick the printer, as there is currently no process to update its MCU. Qidi is aware. Okay, that's another thing I'm worried about with Clipper, because Clipper has things like updating the MCU, where you have to like flash the MCU. And if you don't do it correctly, you can brick things quite easily. So Clipper is not as easily user serviceable as some other firmwares, but you have more power with it. So basically, some of these companies are going to have to learn a new workflow of like updating things, because Clipper is open source and it's connected to the internet, and any user at any point can push update, and you better hope your shit works. And this is a metal plate, for those wondering. So this does have, it's not a 3-lead screw setup for the bed, it's a 2-lead screw. Okay. So let's see what we got under the hood. So we got, ooh, that's a funky controller board. I like that. Okay. So what do we have here? What do we have here? So we got a single controller board. It's got an Ethernet port. So it does have Ethernet. You got USB off the side here. The Wi-Fi is a your Wi-Fi module is literally just a it's a Wi-Fi. I mean, it is Wi-Fi. It comes with Wi-Fi. Nothing wrong there. See if I can plug this back in now. Shoot. I mean, it does come with Wi-Fi. See if I can. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. I don't know what controller board this is. I haven't seen this controller board before. Oh, shoot. Okay, note to self, don't take the Wi-Fi out next time. There we go. Okay, so we got Ethernet if you want Ethernet. We do have Wi-Fi. I don't know what this chip is. I don't know what this controller board is. You got a big old honking heatsink here. We got 3 drivers. X, Y, Z. Where's extruder? Extruder might be a tool head board. I don't know if it's a tool head board. We'll take a look at it. Big honking capacitor. You got that there. So built-in bed. And then our power supply. So this is actually a pretty decent setup under the hood here. I guess we can see what drivers. It's got 2209s according to the thing. You got extra fan hookups. You got a little fan hookup here, USB-C. So yeah, I'm assuming it's got a tool head board because this is USB-C here. And HE USB. So yeah, so it's got a tool head USB controller, it looks like. So that's HE USB. So this is an external USB for like thumb drive, I'm betting. There's your Wi-Fi, there's your Ethernet. So if you wanted to connect this to your home via Ethernet, you could just plug it in an Ethernet cable, I guess, and just run it, you know, cut a little hole somewhere. Check the voltage. We are at 115, so we're good there. I don't know. I'm not. I don't see the only connectors that would have ferrules don't have ferrules, and that's for hot end and whatever that is. So I'm not seeing ferrules. Most of the time I don't. The only time I've seen ferrules is on the Saval machines. But they got, for the power, we do have actual proper connectors on it. So for the high voltage stuff, we have proper connectors. So yeah, I don't know who makes this board. It's the X-6 V1. It seems okay. I don't know. I'm under the hood. I've got no qualms with what I'm seeing under the hood here. So, you got a memory? The capacitor is for unexpected shutdown, so it can shut down the controller nicely. Oh, that's nice to see. That's good to see. Yeah, that's a big honking. That's the first time I've seen a capacitor like that big on something like this. So if they have it specifically so that it can like properly shut down, because that's one of the downsides with Klipper, is it's running on a Raspberry Pi or equivalent. So if your printer suddenly decides to, you know, shut down instantly, you can, you know, technically you can corrupt the install. So if they have like a secondary, you know, a way to do that properly, that's actually good to see. So controller, I think it's okay. It's an MKS board. The X+3 uses a variation of the skipper. The X+3 also has exposed Ethernet port, so it does work, but you must use DHCP. Okay. So this does have an Ethernet port, and you know what? I'm pretty sure you would have to cut something to get at it. You do have to cut like a little access hole, but there is Ethernet. So if you do want to use Ethernet on this instead of, you know, the USB Wi-Fi dongle, it is a possibility. It is there for those who want to use it. I did not flick the switch. It's set to 115. It's an MKS board? Okay. Good for Voron. I've never used it, so I'm not going to say if it'll be good or bad. Here's the thing with the Voron. It's running Klipper. So as long as the controller board has the connections you need with the features you need, and the board is within your price range and it's good quality, like it's not going to be a board that's going to, you know, catch on fire, it'll work. Do I have a crash course? Crash course on what? What's a crash course? What about power outage recovery? So with Klipper, as far as I'm aware to date, there is no power resume. Okay, because there's Klipper sends batched commands. So Klipper takes commands, batches them, and then sends them to the MCU. So what can happen is if a power off happens, it doesn't know what portion of that batch has been run yet, because all it does is Klipper goes, okay, 10 commands go. So it could be completely not where it thinks it is when the power goes out. So you can't power resume with Klipper. It just is what it is. If you're that concerned, get a UPS. To teach 3D printing. I've got videos on my channel about certain subjects, but I don't have like a like an intro to 3D printing video. What are you? Oh. Okay. So we've set that. Okay, plug in the cord and turn on the printer. Complete unpacking calibration of the printer according to the instructions on the screen. Okay, so let's plug it in. I'm just going to use a off-the-shelf plug here. Okay. Where's the power switch? Oh, there's no power switch this time. Okay. Booting up. Please wait. So this is Klipper. Klipper has a boot up time. Is there a UPS I would recommend? Yep, whatever one you can get on a good price at Costco. Preferably the larger the better. Okay, so languages. English. Next. Remove the zip ties. So zip tie there. Zip tie here. It's got that new printer smell. Okay. Caution, do not scratch the carbon fiber rod. Okay. Okay, so next. Remove 4 screws that fix the bed in place. Okay, one second here. So let me get this cardboard out of the way. Okay, there's 4 screws in here. That's a flathead, that ain't gonna work. And it does have like nice pictures on here telling you where the screws are you gotta remove. And there's little stickers in here too that tell you where the screws are. So that's good to see. Now, there is an always-on fan. I'm hearing a fan. There is an always-on fan. Are the CF rods replaceable? No. And that's gonna be a ding against it, in my opinion. The CF rods are not replaceable. They are like on the bamboo. They appear to be epoxied in place. That is not something I'm a fan of. And that's something that I'm going to continue to harp on these companies. These are high-speed Core XY motion systems. Things will break on these eventually. You do need to be able to service the bearings, the idlers, and the rods at some point on these machines. I don't know what the warranty is with Qidi. I know the bamboo warranty is a year. What is going to happen to these machines a year and a half, 2 years from now, once bearings start going, once bushings start going? That is something I'm not super thrilled to, that's going to be a thing going forward with 3D printing. I'm a big fan of user serviceability on 3D printers. They are motion sensitive. It's like a car engine. You got to be able to get into your car engine and fix stuff. You or somebody you're paying to, okay? You need to be able to fix motion systems. Motion systems don't last forever. And even this one, I'm looking at, the idlers do not look like, you might be able to get at them, but you're taking apart a lot of the printer to get at them, because they're like in injection molded parts, and they're glass filled nylon probably. Yeah, you can see the parts. If you look at the plastic injection molded parts, you can see how it's got like this, like almost like a spalling type texture. This is glass filled nylon, and you got a metal frame and a plastic enclosure. So we got that. Okay. Okay, so next, about to moving platform. Please make sure the platform is clean and unlocked. Okay. So a little bit of English and a little bit of rollover on the text with like and unlock. So but either way, okay, next. Please wait for initialization of platform and nozzle. Okay, so it's doing its first home. There is an inductive probe for homing the bed. There is an inductive probe for homing the bed. I'm thinking XY are sensorless. Bed has a probe at the, there's an end stop at the bottom. Okay, I think XY are sensorless. Z has a optical sensor at the bottom. Or the bed has an optical sensor at the bottom, at least. Okay. Use the up-down buttons on the right and adjust the platform height. Okay. Where is my homing paper? Special paper for build plate leveling. Oh, wrong way. Make sure to adjust the platform height. Make sure that the nozzle is just touching the leveling paper. There we go. Okay. Next, input shaper. Please wait. So it's going to do input shaper now. I'm not building your board. Our bamboos, graphite, linear bearings, okay long term. I've used them in injection molds, and they are a proven thing. It's just if they wear out, you cannot replace them because the X rods are epoxied in. So they'll work until they don't. They may last forever, but if something happens and if you have to replace them, you can't. Okay, so it's doing input shaper now. And it's clipper input shaper, so it takes a little minute. Do you think 2 years of warranty? 2 years should be, like, here's the thing. How long do you plan to use your printer for? I don't use a lot of commercial printers. Most of my printers that I use are ones I build, so I'm responsible for their service. But, you know, $1,000 bamboo, it would be nice that, you know, I could just, you know, use it until it finally actually fails or it's obsolete. You know, it would suck if, you know, in North America, it's only a 1-year warranty, you know. My P1P carbon rods have worn out just after 500 hours. Oof. I'd rather see metal rods take the hit to speed and better longevity. Like, I'd rather a machine that, you know, I can get an extra years of use out of instead of, oh, my print's finished, you know, 10 minutes faster. But that's just me. That's just me. This has carbon fiber rods. I don't know why it has carbon fiber rods. I don't think it needs carbon fiber rods, but that's kind of the shiny that people are doing right now. So is what it is. I will say oh yeah, here you go. Carbon fiber tubes cannot be replaced. Please proceed with caution and try to avoid scratching the CF tubes. Use absolute alcohol or isopropyl alcohol to clean the carbon fiber tube every 1 to 2 weeks. So yeah, so they're taking a cue from the bamboo where they recommend regular maintenance on the carbon fiber rods. I would have rather just seen steel rods. Take the hit to weight, lose a little bit of top speed, increase longevity of the machine and reliability. But that's just me. That's just me. Pipes. Here's the thing. I don't know if I have any. They make hollow metal rods. I don't think I have any. Ejector pins. They make, when I worked in injection molding, you use ejector pins to push the part out. You can get ejector pin sleeves. So they are hardened rods, right? Let me grab a rod here. So they are hardened rods, but they're actually hollow. They're only like a mil thick, and they're hard. They're hardened rods, and they're really light because they're thin. But the problem is they're not cheap. Taking off. Can I use bourbon? No, it recommends absolute vodka apparently, or isopropyl. No, these you don't grind carbon fiber rods. They're like, I don't know how they make them actually. They are CF rods. I will say The bamboo ones look a little smoother. And as for the motion system, yeah, they're both Core XY, but they are like the parts aren't one-to-one. It's not a copy. It's not like they took the CAD for this gantry and put it in here. The gantries are different designs. The parts, while they, you know, there's the XY joint on this one. There's the XY joint there. They kind of look the same, but they kind of have to because they're Core XY with vertically stacked rods. There's only so many ways you can make that arrangement work. So yeah, the gantries are both Core XY rod frames, but they're not copies. They're convergent evolution, put it that way. Yeah, the tool head looks the same too with the 5015, but this doesn't have magnets. This clips on. So I wouldn't call this a clone. If this is a clone, then an Ender 3 is a clone of a Prusa. And I know a lot of people say, you know, the Enders are a clone of Prusa. There's no hardware similarities at all between the two. The only similarity is the bed moves in the Y, the gantry moves in the Z, and the tool head moves in the X. Functionally, they do the same thing, but the way they're built is completely different. So I wouldn't call this a clone of a bamboo, more so than, you know, it accomplishes the same thing as a bamboo, which is what a trident does. So, okay, now we got to put some filament. Keep pushing the filament into the extruder. Okay, what color are we going to do? We're not going to use the black because black doesn't look good on camera. Pink. Let's do pink. Yeah, if this is a clone of the bamboo, the bamboo is a clone of a trident, which is a clone of a Hevort, which is a clone of a D-bot, which is like, there is a filament runout sensor on the back here, by the way. And it does use, okay, this part I will say is bloody one-to-one with a bamboo. The drag chain with the filament. Yeah, this is, it's obvious where they got this idea from. Okay, so I pushed it in. Keep pushing the filament into the filament runout sensor until you reach the extruder. Okay. Click left side on. Okay, so. Okay, waiting to the temperature. Okay. Okay, so we're heating up now. So it's heating up now. Did I paint my bamboo? No. And I'm not doing the thing. I've got little, like these front little brackets on, but I didn't enclose mine. The amount of people that like chirp people for using cardboard enclosures and like enclosing their printer using flammable things over the years has been quite a, there's been several people. It's been a thing to call out people that enclose their printers with flammable things. And now everyone's covering their P-on-Ps with PLA enclosures. Anyways, okay, so we've reached temperature. Next, ensure the filament in the extruder, clicking the button to load. Okay. Okay, so it's extruding a little bit. So it's only coming out a little bit. So I'm just going to keep pushing until I actually get, it is sucking the filament in. There we go. So we got filament coming out. Okay. So next. Congrats, guide tutorial finished. Okay. And it's cooling off. Okay. So there's your home screen. Okay. What about corrugated plastic sheets? I've done it. So now it's homing. Okay, so let's connect this to the network. so how do I connect it? So let's go to the gear. So let's see what the manual says. Okay, so the front cover, if you want to take it off, it clips on. The manual is very basic. My 3-year-old Qidi X Plus has the same drag chain setup, so maybe Bamboo copied it from Qidi. Maybe X Plus 1. Let me see here. Let's see. What is printers? Let's see here. 3D printers. X Plus 2. X Plus 1. I don't see any pictures. All right, well, I mean, enclosed machines like this are nothing new. Okay, so that's the move. Okay, so that's English. How do I set up the Wi-Fi? Home, after sales, friendly reminder, reboot, about. Nope, no USB drive. Okay, manual load. Oh, here we go, network. Okay, so I'm gonna connect it to my home network. You guys can look at me or something. Hi. Okay. Oh wait, is there? Okay, good. You're not seeing. Okay. Wi-Fi connecting. Confirmation. Okay, connected. Confirm. Saving Wi-Fi data. Okay. So let me pull it up on my home network here. Okay, what is it called? What is it called? Is that what you're called? Okay, where is Qidi? All right. Okay, MKS. Okay, here we go. MKS Pi. No? Okay, why aren't you connecting to my home network? It says you're connected. Okay, it says it's connected to my network, and I could see MKS Pi, but when I try to connect to it, it's not loading up. I'm getting nothing. No, it is 2.4 gigahertz. It is 2.4 gigahertz. Network. Yeah, that is the IP address. So I am connected to the network. After sales, about, SOC, MCU, UI, Clipper, based on Clipper. It's got lights built into it. That's cool. Read the FM. Well, I went through the manual. Okay, let me plug in the USB stick and see what's in there. It's sending your data to China. Be ready in a second. Yeah, probably. I've never had to set up a port before with Clipper. Normally it just connects. Like normally you just plug in the IP address in your web browser and it connects. There's nothing in here about the that. See if I can ping it. I can see it. Like when I pull up my router, I can see MKS Pi connected. So I can see it connected right now. So I can see it. It's right there. try restarting. Okay, let me try restarting. Stop. Restart clipper. Ever heard of Qidi? They've been around for a while. They normally produce higher tier machines though. System works properly, okay. Okay, let me do a hard reset. Shutting down. Can you print PC? So I don't know if the nozzle is hardened. I don't think it is. One second here. It's a brass nozzle. So you can print polycarbonate, but not hardened stuff. And it does look like it's the volcano-esque nozzle. I'm sure you could put like a volcano nozzle in here if you wanted to. They use fluid. Yep, it does use fluid from my understanding. I'm just trying to figure out why it's not connecting. Because I can connect to my router and I could see it on my router. So I know it's part of the network. So it's connected to my network. There is a hardened nozzle. I'm sure you could buy a hardened nozzle from it. I don't doubt that you can buy a hardened variant of the nozzle. Port. And what do I think about using a single Z model? It depends how big the printer is. A printer like this, not a huge issue. On the X1, it's got 3 lead screws, but only like the problem with the X1, this is a lot of people are getting bent beds on the X1. It does a purge line in the back here. Okay. So it does a purge line back here. And every time you go to scrape it out, you push down on this corner of the bed, which is unsupported. And it flexes, and the bed isn't that rigid, and a lot of people have bent beds. Please turn off the machine and wait for a while before restart. What's this? What's this? The system starts abnormally. Please turn off the machine and wait for a while before restarting. Okay, unplugged it. Maybe it has something to do with that, the capacitor. Let's take a look at the flex plate. So it does come with a flex plate. It's a textured one. It's got a little Among Us. Okay, it booted up. And it does have little locating tabs, so you can locate it. Not the greatest, but it does have. Okay. So let's see. Will you connect to my network now? It's not. No USB drive, globe network. That is the IP address. It's just not connecting. Why aren't you connecting? Microsoft Edge? Nope. It's not connecting. Ping it. It's pinging it. It's just not loading up the UI for some reason. Add to the URL. I've never had to do this before. Okay, so printers, we'll add you. Edit. Qidi X-Smart3. Okay, so here we go. So it has a free USB port. So you should be able to just plug a webcam in if you wanted to. So if you wanted to add a camera to this, you should be able to just plug a webcam in, because it does have a free USB port. There's all that. It's got no jobs on it. Machine system. Settings. There's your configuration, printer.cfg. So if you want to look at all this, so there you go. So it's Core XY, max velocity 600, max excel 20,000. I'm not going to go through all this, but here's all your funky stuff for everything. If you want to know the config, there it is. It does. It's been a hot minute since I've used. Okay, there's your bed mesh, I guess. System. It's running, I think, just normal Clipper. Version 10.0. Yeah, I think it's just running off the shelf fluid. Like, there's the. Oop, wrong button. There's your fluid version. So yeah, it's just running Clipper. So there's your tool head. So the tool head is an RP2040, and it appears to be connected via USB. As far as I'm aware, the tool head is connected via USB. So Linux, I don't know what the RPI is, but so there you go. There's that. Let's see if there's any demo G code on this thing. Is there demo G code on this? Slicing software, Mac OS. No, we just have their slicer. There's no demo G code at all on this. Yeah, the only thing on here is the slicer. Let's install it, I guess. Linux RPI is usually designated for Raspberry Pi. I know, but it's not a Raspberry Pi. It's an all-in-one board, so it's running a ARM something. Or I'm assuming the tool head's USB, because I see there's a USB-C port. It might be CAN bus. I don't know for sure. I don't think it's CAN bus. Actually, I can check in the config here. System configuration. It's .cfg. Dev serial USB. Yeah, the tool head's USB. So it's not CAN bus on the tool head, it's USB, which is something you can do. There's nothing stopping you from doing it. It's just people tend to go CAN bus for the tool head. Definitely not set up and go. Like, let's be honest, this wasn't too bad. I had to, the only hard part of setup other than pushing through the buttons was adding 188, which I don't know why. I've never, could somebody who knows a bit more about computers, because I can't into computer, why I had to put the port there? I've never had to put the port there before. It's always just worked. So this is an X, so they don't have a config for this machine. Oh, X-Smart3. There. Ooh, it's hot. Look at this. It's hot. And it's got a repeato, apparently. It's a Moonraker thing? Okay. Okay. So we got that. Let's, how do I add stuff? Add downloads. We'll start with the bloody boat, because we always do with the boat. So we got our boat. Settings, advanced, expert. Okay. Where's our speeds? Speed. So our default speed. So this is the default slicer settings. So travel goes up to 480. That's not bad. 10K XL. I don't see any 20K XL moves, but we do go up to, so let's see how fast at completely default settings a benchy is on this machine. Saying 34 minutes for the default settings on this machine. It's 34 minutes. Save to disk. Okay. Documents, prints. You can send it over Wi-Fi, but I'm not going to set that up yet. Oh man, it's been a hot minute since I've done jobs. Nope, add, upload and print. There we go. Okay. 3D benchy. You need to do your benchy version with your logo. You can't. Nobody reads the benchy license. You are not allowed to modify a benchy and share it. It is against the license of the 3D benchy. Nobody follows that rule. Nobody follows that rule. Literally, go to 3dbenchy.com or whatever the website is and look up the actual license for the benchy. You are not allowed to distribute modified versions of the 3D benchy. It is against the license. But nobody follows that rule. Okay, so the bed is heating up right now. Besides, I got the Nero calibration cube. I like this form factor. I really like this form factor. Like, if you don't need a big machine, this is actually a really nice enclosed like size. Like, keeps little kids' hands out of it. You got a window on both sides. Get a nice touch screen. You could put a camera on it. You can add a camera to this. You just got to plug it in via USB. Nothing to stop you from doing that. And it's clipper, so it'll just show up. In fact, they already have it pre-set up for a camera. You just got to plug one in. They just don't have the camera, so it's not showing a camera. So, and it's clipper. So if you want to change any of the settings, you just change the setting. It's clipper. You just do it. So that's nice. Yeah, the rook. I'm looking forward to building a rook. I'm waiting on a kit. Fabrico's doing kits. I'm waiting on a kit. We do have extra screws. Apparently it has a filament cutter in the tool head, I think. Because I do have extra blades. I don't know why it has the filament cutter. Because Bamboo did it. But it doesn't have an AMS system. So yeah, it doesn't have a purged, it doesn't have a poop tube either. So why do I have blades? Does it have a filament cutter? It does have a filament cutter. I think it's just to kind of speed up. Okay, my Z offset's a little low. Let me cancel. Make that up a bit. So this is clipper, so we bring that up a bit. And I gotta save it right now. Yeah, our Z offset's a little low. And I need to raise this up. That ain't gonna work. I know. To help raise up our camera, we're going to use a spool of Polymaker filament. Not only is it really good printer chow, it can help elevate things when needed. So our first layer is a little low. I got to adjust the first layer. And it is... Ooh. It's sounding a little crunchy. What's going on here? It is not doing too good. 1 second. That is not doing good. That is not doing good at all. Okay, 1 second here. That is looking like poop. Okay, 1 second. Okay, what is going on here? What is going on? So cancel. Yes. Okay, so let's make sure it's extruding right. So 220. Now it doesn't sound good. It sounds very crunchy. And that first layer was really low. So first layer wasn't great. So let's save that Z offset. So let's adjust that Z offset. Okay, this might be the filament because it's very bubbly. This might be the filament. Okay, position end stop Z must be position min and position max. Okay, so I've already broken their default config. Okay, 1 second here. Stepper Z. Where are you? Stepper Z. Z, position min, position max. Where is position? Well, where? Okay, 4.5. Cool. Put you there. Where's? That would be cool. Is our position max already set up? Oh, you already got a position max. Okay, so we got that. Okay, cool. Save and restart. Position step is supposed to be position end stop and stepper Z. Stepper Z. That's why. Okay, that's why. Save and restart. What the frick is going on here? What's position of max? Am I doing it backwards? Am I doing it backwards? 1 second. So 174 point that. Okay, so that's why. And restart. There we go. Okay, so we're online there. So let's figure out what's going on with this. What's going on with extrusion? Let's figure out what's going on with the extrusion. Why is the extrusion like, it's really bubbly. So I'm thinking it just might be this filament. So let's extrude. 50 millimeters of filament at 5 millimeter extrude. That's extruding just fine. Okay, so that's extruding just fine. Okay, so that's extruding just fine. So let's turn you off. So maybe it was the temperature. So let's see here. What was the temps for this? Temperature, printing temperature 220. Okay, let's try this again. Let me double check, make sure it's extruding the right amount. Make sure we're not over or under extruding. Heat you back up. Broken already? I don't know if it's broken. I don't think it's broken. We're just trying to figure out what's going on, because our first test print was kind of comically not doing good. So we're gonna extrude 50 millimeters of filament. Extrude. Yeah, okay, it's extruding the right amount. And the filament's good, so let's try this again. Print. Let's try this again. See what's going on here. Does it have a PID tune? It should have a PID tune. You shouldn't have to PID tune a machine out of the box. I'm assuming it has a PID tune. We'll take a look at the chart here and see if it gets all funky, but. And the hot end is pretty much a rapido. Like, here. Here's what the hot end looks like. It pretty much is a rapido. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay. Yeah, this is PLA. Replitech. PLA, it's sleek PLA, but it's still PLA. Okay, this Z offset's horrible. Raise the Z. Okay, it's digging into the bed. What's going on here? Okay, it's 1 second, cancel. What the frick's going on here? Okay, it just, what's going on here? Okay, it's not holding us that offset. What's going on? Nozzle's good. Okay. G1, X0, Y0, or 100, Y100, Z2. I should have told that to move cracker. Tankard and $20, new PI fund. I used the paper. That's okay. The joys of a live stream. The joys of a live stream. Okay, let's turn this nozzle off. Okay. So let's what is it? Probe set? Shoot, what is it? What is the command to do the probe offset? Community, documentation. She'll start up. It's probe something. Probe. Probe query. No, not query. Probe. What is it? What is it? It's bed leveling. Is that tilt? There is that tilt adjust. Come on. Nope. 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 What is it? What is it? Probe accuracy. What is the Z offset? Oh, probe calibrate. That's what it is. Probe calibrate. Probe, calibrate. Probe trigger prior to movement. Okay, so let's drop the bed. Okay. Probe, calibrate. And what was it? Test said to. Oh. Let me clean this nozzle off. Fancy paper in there. There we go. Accept. Save. Config. Okay. So let's try this print again. I'm gonna swap out the filament because this is silk filament and maybe that's causing the fuckery maybe. Is there an unload macro on here? Print end, print pause, shaper calibrate. Is there an unload? Oh, there is. Okay, unload filament. Press the button on the extruder to cut off the filament, then click on the button below. Okay. It's like, okay, you want to unload? Okay. Cut the filament, unload. You have to manually cut the filament to unload it. That's one way of doing it. Move this bed out of the way. Okay, what's it doing? Unload? Unload. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna swap it from a silk filament. Maybe silk filaments don't like being printed fast. Maybe that's what's causing this hubbub error. So we'll switch that to some orange, I guess. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're loaded now. So let's try this again now. Let's try this again. We got orange filament in. Okay, so we're loaded. Okay. Okay, let's try this again. 3D Benchy print. My problem was some silk filaments do not print fast. They tend to get silk filaments to be silk. A lot of time you add the same stuff to it that makes flexible filaments flexible. So a lot of times, some silk filaments, depending on the blend, don't print fast at all. They just don't. They do not do good. 180 by 180 seems low. Then buy a bigger printer. There's nothing stopping you from buying the bigger version of this. Okay, for some reason it's still staying at 230. And if you print fast, you lose the shining. Exactly. So what's going on here? All right. So let's see how this goes this time. I would like to get one print out of here successfully. It's got a big honkin' purge, I will say. Okay, its Z offset is not remaining. Why aren't you? What the fuck is going on with the Z offset? Like it's not remembering the Z offset. Or it's got like some weird internal thing going on here. Okay, is it okay now? I think we're okay now. Okay, this first layer is going to be butchered, but it's doing okay now. Bed mesh. It's not doing a bed mesh, you're right. It's not doing any bed mesh. It's just loading up whatever bed mesh it had before. That might be it. You're right. It might just be whatever bed mesh is built in. I did do a probe calibrate. We did do a probe calibrate and it didn't work. And it's like, oof. Can you hear this? What's the fan at? What's the fan at? Where's the fan? Part fan's at 0. Yeah, it's cooking this print. Now the part fan's on 100% now. So hopefully it recovers, but I'm thinking it's where's cooling? Port cooling. Regular fan at 0.3 height. So why wasn't the fan kicking in? Fan should have kicked on at layer 2. Why wasn't it kicking in? These printers are senseless homing. The printer seems just it's not working properly. Sent an updated one. Contact them. Okay, I'll contact them. These printers use senseless homing. These printers CFG that shipped with the X Plus 3 was not working. Yeah. Yeah, this is a benchy in PLA with their default slicer settings. So you're wondering what we're looking at. Modbot updated his. Well, he's got a different machine. I've got the X-Smart3, so. What's the regular fan speed? I don't know. Right now the fan's set to 100. We got the part fans at 100. Fan 2. What is fan 2? There's only one fan in here. So. Yeah, it is cooking this benchy. It is cooking this benchy. Like, it's not under extruding. It's not under extruding. Like, the infill is solid. It is, like, the infill is solid. It's not under extruding. It's just, you know, not looking too hot. Can I PID tune? Well, it's that hot end is pretty solid. I don't know why it's not showing the extruder or where the heater bed is on this car. Where's why aren't you showing me the heater bed on here? Heater bed. Where's the heater bed? I don't know. The hot end's solid PID. There's nothing wrong with the PID on the hot end. Let's start print macro. Let's see if I can find it. Macros. Shaper calibrate. Print end. Print off. Cancel print. Pause print. Resume print. Print beep. G21, G32, G. Settings, printer, X-Smart3. How do you settings, printer, X-Smart3. Okay, how do I see the printer settings? Where are my preferences? General. Where's my printer start stop settings? Printer, control panel. I don't know. Use Orca slicer? Probably. Yeah, I don't see a print. Well, there's obviously a print start macro of some sort because it's doing some. It's doing a purge line. But I don't know if that's in the slicer or in the... Where is... Profile, Rapido, Expert. Where is the printer settings? Can't seem to find it. And there's nothing in the map in the... There is no print start macro in Clipper. So it's in the slicer. Settings, printer. Okay, but how do I view the printer preferences? General? Where the frick is the printer setting? They have a new printer.cfg. Okay, one second here. Okay, support, software and firmware. So X-Smart3 firmware. So they do have a new firmware. Oh. They also have a 15-minute Benchy G code. So let's download the firmware here. Let's watch. So unzip the package, rename USB drive to that, copy the decompressed. So contents of the folder, insert the USB. We're gonna update 20 to 40 minutes. 20 to 40 minutes. Okay, we're gonna do that off stream. 20 to 40 minutes to update. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I should be running the latest version. So I like, here's the thing. I could just copy over, extract all, open. Okay. Stupid Windows 11. Extract here. How do I open? So like I could just put the new printer.cfg in there. Because this one is from, this printer.cfg is from December. So yeah, this was an old printer.cfg. So yeah, I probably should update it. I probably should update this. David, hi David. Yeah. You know what? We're going to update this. We're going to cancel this print because this printer's looking like shit. And we're going to update this because this is not good. I don't want to give a bad impression of this machine. So we're going to update the firmware on this. Because this is not looking good. This is not a good first impression of this machine. Yeah, that's That's not good. Okay, so open with that, extract, downloads. Yes to all. Okay. What the heck? Oh my God. Okay. So how do we do this? So unzip the compressed package, rename USB drive to nothing. Okay. So, well, there's nothing on the USB drive they sent me, so we're just going to format that and call it nothing. Okay. Like literally all that's on there is the manual. Okay, cool. So I need to open that. We want to extract that to, we're going to extract that to USB drive, open. Okay. So that's all extracted. Okay. Where's the video? Where's my video? Okay, unzip. Rename that. Do they need to be on the root? Okay, copy it to the USB. Contents of the folder, cool. Insert the USB, wait for the machine to pop up the update button on the about page. Okay. So insert the USB. It says updating. Oh, I have to push the updating button. Okay, update finished and turn off power supply. And turn off power supply, then reboot after, okay. Then wait, turn off. Wait 20 seconds. Is that about 20 seconds? Okay, turning back on. It didn't say anything about taking the USB out, so I'm going to leave it in for now. Ah, that's what you are. This little piece of filament was floating on my leg hair, and it was like, I thought it was a spider or something. Okay, so it is updating. So we got some time here, folks. We got some time. 1%. So how are y'all doing today? How's everyone doing today? Is everyone okay? John's gonna be back in 30 minutes. Good timing for him. So what's everyone up to? How y'all doing? Is everyone having a good day? Is everyone having a good day? I'm having a good day. We're gonna have to go through and recalibrate everything. Yeah, the firmware that was on this is quite old, so yeah, I think it was probably a good idea to do this. Panic finishing. I still have to do my taxes. I still have to pack everything for Rocky Mountain. I am not where I should be at right now. Why would you buy a Troodon? 8%. what's going on in Colorado. Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest. Oh, for those that were curious, this is how the cube came out on the rat rig from Tuesday. Not perfect, but again, absolutely zero tuning and a YOLO 0.6 profile. And the little thing does screw into the bottom. So it did come out pretty good for a first print. When our Canada tax is due, I have to the end of the month. But considering I'm flying out next week or next weekend for a bit, I gotta kind of get on them this weekend. Yeah, Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest. There's a lot of people going, so it should be quite good. It should be quite good. Am I going to Smurf? Smurf is a long shot because the problem I have with Smurf is, one, it's on the other side of the ocean, so I need to get a sponsor for monies. I need monies to be able to do it, put it that way. And also the time that it is. Now you may think, oh hey, why do you need time off? You're a YouTuber, you could do just whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I can. The problem is my little guy's in school and my wife works shift work, so she needs to book time off to watch the little guy while I'm gone, because you know that's what I do because I'm at home all the time. So the problem is Smurf is during blackout period for work for her. She can't book time off. So it's a logistical problem along with a financial to go to Smurf. X1 versus P1P both have AMS installed. Depends what you're printing. If you're just printing PLA, the P1P makes a heck of a lot more sense than an X1. Because if you're printing PLA, you want to take the top off and the door open all the time anyways. So yeah. Murph in June. Yep. So as of right now, Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Fest, Rapid TCT, Murph and Earth are in the bag. I'm going. So, and I've already paid for hotels and everything for all of them except for East Coast, because that's still got time for that. Yeah. If you don't plan on printing hardened, even then, P1P, you could print hardened materials with replacing the hot. I've already replaced the hot end in my P1P to do hardened materials, not that I, or abrasive materials, not that I ever do it on that. That's my PLA machine. And honestly, I'll be honest, the P1P is probably gonna get replaced with a Mark IV for my PLA machine. Because ever since I put these both on Wi-Fi or LAN only mode, the fact that I can't use the cameras on them is super annoying. So I find myself using the P1P less and less. So, ABS fumes are nasty. Yes. Yes, they are. 33%. So we're gonna get this up and running. I got the demo G code for 15-minute benchy downloaded. I think where'd that go? Where'd that demo G code go? So we'll get this up. We'll re-home the bed, and then we're good to go. Yep, I've already ordered the Mark IV kit. So for those that support me on Patreon, thank you, because that's where that money went, was the Mark IV kit. So first impressions. Here's the thing. I don't want to say anything on this machine yet because we haven't actually gotten a print off of it. We tried one print. We had some issues with leveling, but we're updating to the firmware on here is from December. It's outdated. We're updating to the latest firmware. We're going to start fresh again. So that's kind of what I'm saying right now is this is the problem with a live stream. You're seeing first impressions. And I don't want to say anything for sure on this machine yet because we were running outdated firmware and now we're updating it. So who knows, we might have a better experience. So I will say mechanically, the machine seems fine. It's Clipper. Clipper still needs some polish to be a commercial firmware. Clipper is still very much a tinkerer's firmware. So yeah. Is the bed? It wasn't issues with the bed. Qidi or K1? I have no idea about the K1 because I will not recommend machines that I don't have personal experience with or I haven't touched. Also, this machine wins right away because I can open the door 180. So if you're wondering about the Qidi machine or the Bamboo, the door opens 180. So I can't, you know, smash my head off of it because it you know, sticks out into the room. So yeah, this wins because the door opens 180. So there you go. Yeah. 50%. Will the door come off? You should be able to snap the door off. It does look like the door will snap off. Yeah, you can snap the door off, probably. How does this come off? If you need to remove the front cover, please unlock it upwards first, then remove it. Okay, there you go. So if you want to see this tool head, it does look kind of familiar. So we got a big dual geared extruder. Here's your 5015 fan, and it's just a generic, normal, everyday 5015 fan. There's your hot end. So it's a Rapido hot side with a obviously quite similar to the Bamboo's heatsink, but heatsink's just extruded aluminum. So there you go. So if you want to see what the tool head, and here's your if you want to cut the filament, which is manual. And no magnets, no fancy magnets here. It just kind of snaps on. Yeah, it's a normal 2-pin fan, so you can just, you know, replace it with any other 2-pin fan off the shelf. That's nice. Instead of, you know, whatever the hell this is. Why? Why do you have to use a 4-pin fan that, yeah, it reports PWM, but it'll still like not error out if the fan doesn't work? Ask me how I know. I didn't have this plugged in for a while and it didn't error out with a custom connector. Instead of just, you know, a normal fan that everyone uses, that anyone can buy. Why? What is the benefit? DJI, bruh, exactly. Like, it's more so the right to repair, ease of serviceability aspect that I don't like about that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, functionally it works just fine. Don't get me wrong. These machines are completely awesome printers. But it, you know, it would be nice that the normal 5015 fan that's just a generic 5015 fan didn't have to be a super custom 5015 fan that you got to buy from them directly. Yeah, 4 pins is nice because these report RPM. But I printed with the P1 or the X1 for about a month with the hot end fan disabled because somehow the tool head fell off at one point and I didn't realize it disconnected the fan ever so slightly. So the fan wasn't working and it just kept printing. It didn't error out or anything. It reported 0 RPM, but it didn't give me a warning in Bamboo Studio. What's the point of reporting RPM if you're not going to do anything with that information? Yeah, I printed the this was printed without a part fan because it's got the big leaf blower on the side that does a good enough job apparently. I printed this without a part fan. And if you want to get at the tool head board in here, there are some screws in the back. What's this? What's this? Ooh. Okay, that's kind of cool. Oh, look at this. There's there's the back of the tool head board with all your connectors, which are just normal connectors. And you had this little thing that kind of There you go. So if you need to service anything, you got a little connector in the back, so you can just slide that off. If you need to play around with any of the connectors. Neat. That's not bad. I think honestly, so far, my biggest hangups with this printer are just Clipper in a commercial environment, which Clipper is still new to commercial machines, and there's going to be hiccups. So if you buy this machine, you kind of have to accept the fact you're going to have to learn how to use Clipper. No, that box is molded. There's no printed parts on this machine. I don't see a single 3D printed part on here. Everything is injection molded. Ultimaker's okay, so Ultimaker has been doing it for years, but Ultimaker has been in the prosumer commercial tier of printers. Your average Joe wasn't buying an Ultimaker. Like the market is completely different. Now though, we're into this market, so. Update finished, confirm. Okay, so now I have to redo the setup. Okay, so English. Okay, so I'm probably gonna have to reconnect to my home network. So, hi. Nope, nope, don't look at that. Okay, network, yep. Wi-Fi connecting. There we go, saving Wi-Fi data. Okay, so we're connected there. Okay, so now I need to I got to redo the manual. Ensure the nozzle is done at ordinary temperature. Okay. So I got to re-level this. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Okay. Okay, next. What am I doing here? Am I doing the stupid bed leveling? Wait. Am I manually leveling the bed with the probe? Oh, wait, 1 second. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to be doing this. I pushed the wrong button. Abort. Abort. I pushed manual bed leveling instead of automatic bed leveling. Yeah, I pushed the wrong button. What are we at right now? We still have an hour. We got an hour to get a good print off this machine. That's okay. That's okay. That gives you more time to enter for your chance to win some free Polymaker filament. Link in the description. Also, don't forget to join the community Discord, because every month we do a community contest, and you can still enter for this month's contest. It's about funny prints, so print a meme, or just post something that's funny that happened to you when you were 3D printing, and you might win some filament. Okay, So auto bed leveling. So I got to do Z offset. How do I set Z offset? Okay, you know what? I'll just do the stupid manual way of doing it. Okay, so home all. And I'm just going to do query. Gone into Prusa. I have. I don't really trust it. Like, if they were open source, they would have some open source anything. They don't have anything open source other than their slicer, which they had to because it's based on Prusa slicer. If you want to curry favor, open source your input shaping code. Let's see how you're running it on a locally on that hardware. That I would like to see. If you could pull that off, I'll give you some kudos. Okay, so where is my terminal? Okay, so G1 X 100 Y 100 Z 5 F 6000. Go! Like the whole let the games begin thing. It's like, also they compared their blog post compared Voron in the same like terms as those companies, and it's like Voron isn't a company like that. Like they fundamentally don't even understand what Voron is. So okay, bed mesh clear. Okay, we're gonna do probe calibrate. Like they fundamentally don't even know what Voron is. So I'm doing the probe calibrate thing. Okay, so there we go. Accept, save, config. Okay, cool. So we've done that. Okay, so now I'm going to do auto bed leveling. So now we're going to rerun the bed mesh because it never did a bed mesh. It has a bed mesh in it, but that was the bed mesh that from the factory. So we're going to do a full proper new bed mesh. So. What's my favorite? Personally, I like the V2, but that's like the one I use the most. I do have a soft spot for the V0. I don't really use them that much though, because I don't really need to. If you're gonna build a Voron, you don't know which one to build a Trident. And then switch wire is kind of the black sheep because it's the switch wire. Okay. Oh, it wants me to redo my. Okay. Okay, so it's done the Z offset. Okay. So now it's going to do the probe. It didn't do this before. Last time I manually I did my Z offset in the machine. It didn't do this. Did this? Did I print anything yet? No. We tried getting it set up and printing with the firmware out of the box, and we were having issues. So what I've done is I've actually gone and updated the machine to the latest firmware, because the firmware that shipped with this was quite out of date. Hopefully on production units that they ship to customers, they update it. But yeah. Why not the Legacy? The Voron Legacy is a resto mod. Okay, it's akin to taking an old Corvette and putting a new engine in it and air conditioning and sat nav. Okay, a Voron Legacy is you kind of like the old style look of printers, but you want modern features. So a Voron Legacy is a direct upgrade for a V1.6. Okay, it's meant to take a design from the oldie days and put modern features on it. It is not a modern design of a printer. It's an old design with a bunch of bling on it. So that's why it's the Voron Legacy. It's a Legacy upgrade. So, you know, a V1.0, you can upgrade into a Legacy. It's not meant to be the top of the tier because it's using rods and bearings and it's very limited in its size. You can't make it much bigger. So. Everyone's using rods out. I know. And it's like on Qidi machines, it'll make sense because they're using an inductive probe. But on the Bamboo, they use the nozzle touching the bed and piezo sensors in the bed to detect Z0. That's how it uses for probing. On a machine this size, it works. When you scale it up though, rods have a lot of flex. You can't support a mid-span. So you'll get different readings in the middle of the bed versus on the edge. Okay, so there's the bed mesh saving. So can we print now finally? Can I tell it to print something? I want to print something. Okay. So I got 3D Benchy G code on here. So that's the old one. Okay. So there's that. Okay. I'm going to say if you buy this machine, first things first, update the firmware. First things first, update the firmware on this because I think it's a lot better now. Okay, so let's upload and print. Downloads. So this is the 15-minute Benchy. So yeah, so if you buy this printer, first things first, update the firmware if it doesn't have the latest firmware on yours. So I don't know why this shipped with firmware from December on it. I don't really think it should, but it did. So hopefully we're okay now. I'm ready to mash the Z offset button if I need to. We'll see how this goes. Input shaper. It didn't say anything about redoing input shaper, and it should have the value built in, like from the factory. Oh, I don't have an input shaper in here. Yeah, I don't have an input shaper. Shoot. Printer.cfg input. No results. We might have to rerun input shaper. Yeah, we're gonna have to rerun input shaper. Cancel. Cancel. Wait for that to cancel. Okay, cancel. We're gonna have to rerun input shaper. Stop. It did do an input shaper the first time. It did do an input shaper the first time. And the chart is actually showing both temperatures properly now. So yeah, I think the original version of the firmware that shipped with this was not you know, hunky-dory. Where is input shaper at? Oh, there was a button on here before. Oh, input shaper. There we go. So obviously it's got an 80XL built into the tool head. Funding to appeal to make Nero part of ZZ Top. Why would I be a part of ZZ Top? Cancel. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like, if anyone's watching this in the future, I'll put a little. I know it's great to put this comment right now, over 2 hours into the live stream, but I'll try and remember to put like an actual pinned comment to this live stream about everything we've learned so far. Beard is getting long. It is. It is. I got it trimmed up when I got a haircut a couple weeks ago, and I said keep it long this time, so we'll see. But it is what it is. It's a new printer. It's a Clipper is still very new to consumer machines. So the implementations for these, especially these first implementations, are going to be a little rough. It is what it is. It do be how it is, though. Keep the beard. Oh yeah, I'm keeping the beard. I haven't shaved. I haven't been clean shaven since 2014. I've got no desire to change that. What did you miss? We got it set up. We followed the initial setup and we tried doing some printing. We ran into some issues because the firmware that shipped with this is quite out of date. So we've gone ahead and we've updated the firmware, and now we're going through the setup, and we're going to do a 15-minute demo print once this input shaper tune is done. So now we can see, you know, what it recommends too. Well, it does all these tunes automatically on first startup. So at least it did, but then we reinstalled the firmware and didn't do the initial startup again. So special air quality statement in effect. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, Delta Airlines. What to look forward to on your flight to Denver. Ooh. Bold coffee. Ooh, I can get coffee on my flight. Ooh. I have never flown in the States on my own, ever. I have flown in the States. When I worked at a tool shop, I did do some service calls. So I have flown in the States, but I've never like flown on my own. Like when I've flown before, I was with a group of people and I just followed the person who told me where to go. So this will be my first time flying on my own in the States. So this should be interesting. Can I get booze? My flight's at noon. So probably. Do they give you PA values or anything? I'm assuming they have some default ones, but there's nothing in the machine, or there's no tune. Like they don't recommend running a PA tune. Let's see here. So not that one. So we do have an extruder. Filament diameter. Pressure advance. So it does have a PA value. It does have a PA value already tuned. So I am happy that this is running Clipper. Like it's just Clipper. It's just off the shelf commercial Clipper, or commercial open source Clipper. I am really happy to see that on this machine. That is something I'm very, very interested to see what Creality does, because for those familiar with the Sonic Pad, which is in its box over there dejected in the corner because I'll never use it again, is running Creality's version of Clipper. which is a fork of Clipper, which they have full control over, and you need to wait on their updates, and you're fully reliant on them for everything, and I don't like that. So if the K1 has that on it, the K1 will not be in this room for long. I'm really hoping the K1 has just normal Clipper. Okay, let's see. Okay, so what is it recommending here? Okay, so it's recommended MZV with, so MZV, it's recommending 12,000 max acceleration on the X-axis. So that's not bad. MZV is good. And for the Y-axis, it's recommended ZV with a 10,000 max accel. That's a pretty decent input shape. That's pretty solid, which you kind of expect on this machine because it's a small machine. The smaller the machine, the higher input shaper you can run. Okay, let's run this 15-minute benchy now. They opened up the source on the Sonic Pad. Okay, that's good. Yeah, ZV and MZV, those are the least aggressive input shapers too. ZV is the least aggressive, then MZV, and then basically the more aggressive input shaper, you can go faster, but you take a hit to rounded corners. So usually I run the least aggressive input shapers. So usually I run MZV, 2 humpy eye and a pinch, but yeah. So usually when it says max recommended, that's usually what I use for inner wall. Outer wall, half that. Infill, YOLO, go as fast as you can and still reliably extrude because it's infill, who cares? Send that. Same with travels, send it. As long as the machine can move, send it. So this apparently is a 15-minute benchy G code. You can play with the Big Tree Tack pad. Pad 7 seems to be pretty decent. I have a pad 5. I've got a pad 5 right here. It works fine. I just don't use it because I don't need to use it. But the pad 7 seems to be what the Sonic Pad should have been, which is just, let's just take something that can run Clipper, slap a screen on it, and sell it. Why you go through the trouble to make it all custom and broken? Creality. But it's Creality, so of course they did that. Still not fully open. Oh, I believe it. Like my Sonic Pad, I can't update it because I have to go through the whole setup and it won't let me because it's like needs to connect to a printer and I won't connect it to a printer to update it. And I can't root into it to like update it over SSH or anything. So. No, it did the, when I ran the input shaper through the screen, which automatically saved it. So. Months behind. Yeah, the Sonic Pad is not something I recommend to anyone. Really, the only people that would get benefit out of it are those that just run Creality machines, and that's it. And they don't want to like actually deal with, you know, running proper Clipper. Okay. Hey, okay. Okay, that first layer is looking a lot better. What time is it? It is 1:15 right now. So I'm not going to time it exactly, but okay. This is looking a hell of a lot better. And it's sounding a hell of a lot better. Yeah, this is looking at and sounding a hell of a lot better right now. So I'm already. Oh yeah. Okay, this is so much better. Ignore rattling because this bench isn't bolted down and I got stuff on it shaking. What's the excess? I don't know. That's their starting G code. You could change it. So I got a feeling this will, okay. This may be able to do a 15-minute benchy. I guarantee you it won't look as good as a Bamboo because it doesn't have curtain air cooling. This does not have curtain air cooling.
So you're reliant entirely on just a single 50-15 fan. So you'll be able to push the speeds on travels and excels, but you're going to have to drop your speeds on outer wall and even inner wall to get good quality prints, because this only has a single 50-15 fan. Yeah. But I mean, you know, most speed benchies look like shit anyways, so let's be honest. You could, there are extra fan headers. There are extra fan headers on that controller board. And there is room at the back if you wanted to put curtain air cooling in here, if you really wanted to. Like, it's running Clipper. You could do that sort of thing with Clipper. You could just, you know, mod it. Go for it if you want to. We are running into some cooling issues. I will fully admit we are running into some cooling issues, but it's a 15-minute benchy. Let's be honest, 15-minute benchies on most machines don't look great. Can you add it? Yeah, it's Clipper. There's open fan ports on the board. Just plug it in and call it a day. Send it. They look basically the same. I haven't done the 15-minute benchy on a bamboo in a while, so I can't remember what it looks like, and I don't know where it went. I will say it is looking, the bow is coming off pretty decent, I will say. Focus, focus. What do you think of the bigger bed? I don't know. I don't have them. You'll have to go look at the reviews from other people. Modbot has one. I don't know who else has one, but cooling issues. It's only got a single 50-15 for part cooling on this machine, so I'm not expecting amazing cooling response, especially at these speeds. Like, it's only got a single 50-15 and it's printing PLA at 230. So, like, you kind of have to accept what it is at a certain point. Let me get some better lighting here. Like, it do be what it is. Like, you kind of have to accept it at some point. Light. Let there be light. We get high flow chocolate. I don't know. Whenever I can get my hands on the whatchamacallit. Carbon fiber tubes cannot be replaced. Correct. It's the same like the bamboo. They're like epoxied in. They ain't coming off. Does it have a top? Yes, it does have a top. It's right here. I took it out because we're printing PLA, but you can, if you are printing ABS, you can just put the top on and close the door if you want to print ABS. So for those looking for a small machine that prints ABS, this doesn't seem like a bad option. Like, it's certainly more capable than a Prusa Mini in terms of what you'll be able to do with it. How many minutes would you say? Well, here's the thing. I don't control how fast the average benchy used to take. Wow, my white balance is really off right now. There we go. The average benchy used to take what, an hour and a half? And now we're down to like 15-minute benchy demo prints that come with machine. I think if you could do a good quality benchy in 30 to 45 minutes, if you could do a good quality benchy in 30 to 45 minutes, that's a perfectly acceptable speed. Because remember, yes, the bamboo could do a benchy in 15 minutes. That is a demo benchy. The profile for that is not the profile that machine runs at. If you take the normal PLA profile for a Bamboo Lab X1, for example, it's a 42-minute bed sheet. And this one, the Qidi, it's like a, what was it? Let me pull it up here. The demo G code, or the stock G code, or stock profile for PLA is a 34-minute bed sheet on this machine. So 30 to 45 minutes, if you could do a 30 to 45 minute bench sheet and get good quality, that's fine in my opinion. That is what should be the standard on a faster machine nowadays, I think. Anything below like 30 minutes, that's speed benchy territory, and you're going to be taking hits to layer adhesion, to quality. You're not going to have a great benchy under those speeds. ET2K9 now, $10. Cheers. With more of these carbon rod XYs out now, do you think more third-party replacements will be available, or you replace with regular rods? You can't replace these rods. If you want to replace these rods, you need new XY joints, because these rods are epoxied into the XY joints. Same on the Bamboo. I'm not liking that trend of not being able to use or service your printer. I am not a fan of that trend. I know some people don't care. That's something I kind of like, is being able to fix my printers. What's the noise level? The rattling from this desk shaking is the loudest part. Let me filters, turn off noise gate, and turn off background music. It's a fast Core XY. It's gonna be loud, but it's not too bad. The noise seems very localized. Like, one second here. It's not gonna come across on the mic anyways, but one second here. Let me. If I leave the room, close the door, and take about 10 steps, I don't hear the printer anymore. So, maybe in the same range as like a P1P. The thing is, you only have the one fan. The fans are quieter. You don't hear the fan noise as much. And if I hold it so that like all the stuff on this desk that's shaking, because this desk is not secured to a wall, it's a little bit quieter. This would probably be quieter on that desk than it is right now. Can't we add a 3D print to fix the epoxy rod issue? Yeah, you'd have to redesign the XY joints. You would need new XY joints. And the XY joints would require taking apart the entire machine to replace, because it's all sitting inside a sheet metal frame. These machines are not easily serviceable. These aren't like a Voron where like 8 screws, I can drop my gantry. Like I undo the belts, 8 screws, my whole X gantry comes out. You can't do that on these. Same with the rat rig. A couple screws, you take your whole gantry up. These are not easily user serviceable, and that's a trend I'm not too happy about. 180 cubed. It's 180 by 180 by 170. Okay. And it is $5.99 US. It is currently on sale, pre-order for $4.79 US. That's pre-order. That is not the price. The machine itself is a $600 printer that's currently on sale. Hey, Steve. But I will say, now that we got the firmware updated, it is definitely a lot better. So we probably should have updated the firmware right off the bat. And I'm going to put a comment. I'm going to pin a comment below this stream, saying like, going over like the first thing you should do is basically update the firmware. So what will I build after the rat rig? I don't know. We still got to finish the rat rig. So what's the footprint? I'll tell you right here. I like this form factor. I will say, I think this is a really nice form factor for those that don't need a big machine. Like if 180 is good enough for you, this is a really nice form factor. Spool on the back kind of sucks though. It is what it is, but you can put the spool wherever really. Let me find it here. Okay. So the machine itself, there you go. It's 370 by 362 by 379, but it's going to be bigger because you got to have a spool on the back. So like, this is inches. It is what it is. With a big fat spool on the back to front, you're looking at about 17 inches. Whereas without the spool, it's 14 inches. So 14 inches, 16 tall, and what, 15 inches wide. It's a good size. Like it's a nice form factor, I will say. Do you get the same print quality on a P1P? Probably. P1P, you have the advantage of being able to put current air cooling on it. Okay, that's a big advantage on the P1P. It has support for current air cooling. I don't do that on mine. Here's the thing. They're NEMA 17 driven Core XYs with high flow hot ends and a 5015 part cooling fan. In that regard, both these machines are the same. The firmware is different because I don't know what Bamboo's firmware is. It's custom. This is running Clipper. They both have pressure advance, or I don't know what Bamboo has for pressure. It has pressure advance. So does the Qidi. It's got pressure advance. They both have input shaper. On paper, if you take the time to tune it, all good 3D printers print as good. I mean, like, I don't know. Here's a print off a Mark IV. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, and this is default settings on a Prusa Mark IV. Pretty much all modern printers, if you take the time to tune them right, will print damn good. Let's be honest. Some just are a little bit faster than others, and some have different print volumes and different features. But pretty much any well-built modern 3D printer, the print quality is good enough. It's fine. Like, I always find it funny when it's like, okay, I'm going to review this printer, and then here's a bunch of prints I did on it. They all look fine. Unless a printer is like shit, pretty much all modern printers print good. So this should print just as fine. It may not be able to go as fast as like an X1 though, because it doesn't have the current air cooling. So, well, technically it'll move as fast. You just won't get the same quality without the current air cooling. Some print certain materials. Yeah. Like this doesn't have a hardened nozzle. It's an option apparently. So if you want to print hardened stuff or abrasive stuff, you're going to have to, play around with that. There is not. There it is. There. Unless you're printing ABS or ASA. Yeah, that's the thing. The side curtain doesn't make any lick of sense if you're printing it in like ABS, ASA. We do have a little bit of stringing, but I'm not going to critique it on stringing because this is, filament that's never been used on this machine before. It's hard to critique, like on demo G code. It's always hard to critique it because you don't know what they tuned it with. And we are coming up. We're at exactly 15 minutes since we started the print. So, or close enough. Like this is a 15-minute benchy. Let's see here. Where are we? So total, we're at 15 minutes and 35 seconds of print time. I don't know if that is, I don't think that includes the heat up. There you go. Oh yeah, that's much better. That is so much better now. So the only downside is I got all that gunky filament on the stupid purge line. I gotta... It came off pretty good. Okay. So we do have some under extrusion on the top, and we do have some wisping. But for those curious, there is a 16-minute benchy. 16 minutes and 5 seconds on the Qidi. So we do got some melty corners from lack of part cooling, but you know, for a 15-minute benchy, what are you expecting? It is what it is. So let's actually get a print going using their slicer here. So what do I have? What kind of what do I have downloaded here? What's this? Oh, that's a flexible print. I don't know. Let's find a print. What time is it? We got it's 1:30. So I need a print to print while we let it do its thing. So printables. Let me unload this filament. It's okay. This is kind of like why, but it's that ain't English, but okay. But that might be from the demo G code. Okay, so let's unload. Unload. Okay, press the side button and then, okay. So confirm. So it's heating up. Let me push the side button to cut the filament. It's like, nope, you cut that filament. Okay. So what's a current, like, what's a current print that everyone's printing right now? What's a current, like, what's the current, like, flavor of the month print? Calicat. Everyone does Calicats. Rocket engine. Okay, let's do the rocket engine. I'll do the rocket engine. Rocket engine. We'll do the Prusa rocket engine. Most downloads. Go. Download files. Download the rocket engine. We'll do the rocket engine. Does this support 3MF? Okay, unload. Okay. I don't think it supports 3MF. I don't think their slicer supports 3MF. Oh, it does. It does. It does. Okay. But it is too big. So we need to scale this. Where is there a scale to fit? Okay, so Z is obviously that ain't gonna work. So we need to scale this down to like let's go to 165 just to give us a little bit of headroom. How do I make it sit on the bed? Settle. Arrange all models. No, sit on the bed. How do I get on the bed? Settle on the bed. Select it. There we go. Okay. There we go. So even though this says XL, that ain't XL. Okay. So slice. Okay. So I need a color. What do I have? What color do you print rocket? I don't know if I have any silver. I'm all out of the silver that I used. Do I have? What color am I going to print a rocket engine in? Ah, here we go. Mystic Brown. Mystic Brown. We're gonna do Mystic Brown because why not? Okay, so load. Yeah, it's going to be a Mystic Brown rocket. So we're going to print it at completely default settings. So slice. Okay, hot end you can turn off now. How do I turn the hot end off? Load. Off. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of this interface. Whatever. Not a huge fan of that interface. Okay, so this will take 3 hours and 25 minutes. So let's send to Wi-Fi. And because it's got the printer, it's got the IP there. So send to Wi-Fi. Okay, uploading printer job to printer. Let's see how this works. I've never tried this yet. I'm gonna clean the bed really quickly too. Just because I have been gumming it up with my grimy mitts. It's taking its sweet time. Use a good Prusa slicer profile. Probably. Like, honestly, you could probably take a bamboo slicer profile, or a, not a bamboo, an Orca slicer profile for like the P1P, and just change the print volume down to match this, and it'll probably work just fine. And I might end up doing that. What I use to clean the bed? Just some ISO. Okay, send. Do you want to print the file now? Yes. So yeah, honestly, if you're running this on Orca Slicer, if you want to run Orca Slicer, literally probably just, what are you doing? Okay, you're heating up. Okay. Orca Slicer, take the profile for a P1P, change the print volume, and change like starting G-code and whatnot, and you'd probably have a pretty solid profile to start off. Normal. I just gotta just. Where did I put it? Yeah, it's just ISO. I normally keep it in this guy, but I need to like fill it up. It's empty. Okay, so we're waiting on the bed to heat up. Okay, so the bed's heated up. I will say it probably should have the, my lights are flickering. You can't see it on camera probably, but my lights are flickering. So you probably want to add the command in the printer.cfg file to do the anti-light flicker cycle time, PWM cycle time. That's easy to add though. What are the speeds? Let's pull it up here. There's your speeds. So print speed, infill's 220, wall speed's 198 for outer walls are 168. Top surface, travels are 480, and there's your accelerations are right there. So if you want to pause it to take a look. But we got 20 minutes left, so we're gonna just I should have probably put a skirt on this. Should have put a skirt on this. But hopefully it doesn't pop off the bed. We'll see. 168.3 widescreen. It's probably a percentage thing. I probably should have printed this with a skirt. Oh well. If it fails, it fails. I'll just retry it without it with the skirt. Advanced, experimental, build plate. Oh, it does have a skirt. Oh, it does have a skirt. Okay. It does have a skirt. Yeah, it does have a skirt. It's a little skirt. But it does, it apparently, oh no, it's got a skirt. I meant a brim. It needs a brim. Yeah. So I'm gonna slice this and save it. And if it fails, I'll just print it with a skirt or a brim. Yeah, I don't know. 15-minute benchy, that ain't bad. Speeds could get bumped up. They could. I'm not super concerned with the stock speed. They're stock speeds. Run it at stock, see how it prints, and then adjust from there. Because it's going to depend on the filament you're printing too a lot of the time. Should you wait on the K1? I would always recommend waiting to see, always to compare. I don't know how the K1's going to be. I have zero clue. I have one on the way, apparently, but nobody has one yet. So right now it's just numbers on paper and some pictures. P1P equals no enclosure equal 4 better for ABS out of the box. What do you mean? The P1P comes with an enclosure. You just put it back in the box it came with. Love the smell of PLA. It's been, I don't print a lot of PLA. Like pop. How proud of these motors? Let's see. Motors aren't too bad in terms of heat. Big sticker carbon fiber tubes can't be replaced. Bamboo carbon fiber tube. Yep, bamboo is carbon fiber X rods, and they say you can't replace them, and you have to clean them regularly as well. Because if you get gunk buildup on it, it will act like an abrasive, especially if you print like a lot of ABS. And the bushings are bushings; they're not bearings. So if you kill the bushings on it, you can't replace it, and hopefully they'll take it back and fix it if you're under warranty. If not, you're SOL. So. Same as this one. Yep. That's something I'm not too happy that everyone's kind of running with, because it seems like as soon as like one person comes out with a neat idea that works, everyone copies it instead of like, hey, how can we build upon that idea? But everyone went, oh, bamboo has the X rods or carbon fiber. We need to do carbon fiber too. Even though there's quite a few downsides to it, including the fact that they wear out. You have to clean them regularly, and then they put them in a way too that's not user serviceable. So if they ever fail, or the bushings fail that are trapped on them, you're done. Hope warranty will cover it, and if not, you're done. Printer's garbage. Do you see the Rook? Yeah, I'm waiting on a Rook kit. I will be building a Rook at some point if I can get a kit. Does the X have tooth bearings? No, the only tooth bearings on this are the drive gears. All the idlers are smooth on here, which is fine. All the idlers are smooth idlers. Sambo, thank you for coming a member. Hopefully more third-party parts kits. I don't know. Will Bamboo even allow that? Can you do that on a Bamboo? Will you test different Qidi? This is the only model that I'm getting as far as I'm aware. So I won't be able to compare the other models because I don't have them, nor will I be receiving them. And honestly, out of all of them, this is the one I was interested in the most because I have no need for the bigger ones. And I'm a fan of small, compact, cheap printers. So how did the Benchy turn out? Focus. There you go. Here is the 16-minute. They say it's a 15-minute Benchy. It's a 16-minute and 3-second Benchy. And this is some Replatech orange PLA. So there's your 16-minute Benchy. Not bad. Bamboo will not sell carbon X rods, you've already asked. Yeah, because they would have to sell it as an assembled unit. They would have to sell it with the XY joints pre-attached. So, and if they fail in the first year you own the printer, or 2 years if you're in the EU and you get a 2-year warranty, if they fail outside of the warranty, you're SOL. Or if you bought the machine secondhand and they fail. But that's the same on this machine too. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like not user serviceable parts on a motion system. Like, you're just asking for trouble down the line. And with how many people are buying them, what's going to happen? Like, what if they all die in a year after 2 years of use? In 2 years, all the Bamboos are broken. What happens if that happens? What limits the size of a 2.4? You're looking at basically the XY joints are plastic, so they can only take so much weight before they start to not perform optimally. And then you also have the MGN 12 rail and the 2020 extrusion. Basically, 350 is roughly about how big you can go with a V2 and before you start running into, like, it can't perform as well as a V2 should, and you start running into downsides. Also, it's only 6mm belt. If you want to go bigger than 350, build a rat rig V-core. Vorons are not meant to be large printers. They were never designed to be a large printer. They were designed to be Ultimaker equivalent printers. So, like, the original Voron was designed to be an Ultimaker tier machine that you could build at home. That was the original design goal. Not a high-speed, large format printer like some people seem to think for some reason. Yeah. Oh, here we go. This just popped up in my feed. This. So, don't get me wrong. This is really cool. This is really cool. They got the fancy barn doors, okay? But, like, every time somebody has ever chirped me for enclosing a printer in cardboard on my How to Print ABS series, and then you have people doing this, where they cover their entire printer, fully enclosing it with PLA. Like, don't get me wrong, this is really cool, but if we start doing this, you can never complain about anyone ever enclosing your printer in cardboard ever again. And the company promotes this, because remember the companion cube that everyone did? Nobody complained about this. So guess what? From now on, we can't complain about people enclosing their printers in cardboard, because PLA is, you know, that ain't fire resistant. So it's okay to enclose your printer in flammable materials from now on, folks, because we're okay with that now, apparently. It's a board cube. Yeah, don't get me wrong. This looks friggin' sweet. Personally, I would never do this. Like, I don't get the point of it, but, you know, it's cool. That looks really cool. Although it looks like a bunch of greeblies. I really like these doors, though. These doors are nowhere near actually, well, you know, sealable. But, like, Those look really cool. Don't get me wrong. But now we can never complain about somebody who encloses their printer in cardboard ever again. If somebody posts on Twitter that they enclose their printer on cardboard, okay, cool. I guess we're okay with that now, enclosing printers with stuff that's not, you know, flame resistant or whatever. You know, technically acrylic's not either, but whatever. Plastic bag. When I printed my original V 2.0 parts on my V 1.5, I enclosed the printer with a garbage bag. Z-banding issues? So far I don't see any, but we'll have to wait till this is higher up. I never understood Prusa's lack of enclosure and letting it print unattended overnight. Lack of enclosure is not exactly an uncommon thing. A lot of printers aren't enclosed. Prusa's print a lot of PLA. PLA, you don't want to enclose your printer with PLA. You want as much airflow around that thing as possible. And you want the heat to go away as quick as possible. So enclosing a Prusa, if you're printing a lot of PLA, is pointless, okay? And printing all night, I print all night all the time. Whenever I'm printing, you know, bulk parts on these machines, I run these machines unattended all the time. It's never been an issue. If I was that worried about a printer catching fire in my house, it would not be in my house to begin with. Okay? If I'm cooking in the kitchen on my oven at 400 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, I'm not in my kitchen the entire time. I turn the oven on and I put the thing in it and I walk away. It's an appliance. If I didn't trust my printers to not catch fire, they would not be in my house to even begin with. So. I think Prusa with IKEA lax. Oh, I don't know. I never got the lax enclosure. Just get some 2020 extrusions and some acrylic and make a nice box. Yep, I got. Right there, fire alarm. And actually this room, there's like a little cutout, like right here at the ceiling. I can touch it right here, but there's like a raised section and the fire alarm's there. So if there's any fire in this room, that alarm goes off right away. And I've got a fire extinguisher under the bed door here, and I got one by the door as well. Yeah, enclosing any bed flinger, like look how compact this is. Like here you go. This is it. This is enclosed. You put the lid on, boom, enclosed. Close the door. Done. And it's much quieter too. But we're printing PLA, so we want that open for airflow. Like, I really like this form factor. I think this is a really nice, if you don't need big, most people don't need big. Everyone buys their first printer, you always build or buy bigger than you need. And then most people buy smaller for their second. If you need a Prusa mini-esque size printer, this is a nice form factor. Once you sort out the firmware issues. But luckily, it's Clipper. You could do whatever you want with this machine. Hey, the hot end died and you want to replace it with an aftermarket hot end? Cool, print off the mount, update the hot end thermistor in your firmware and run a PID tune. Oh, hey, on my Bamboo, the bed thermistor died. Well, luckily I've got generic ones in my drawer here. I can just plug it in and run a PID tune and update the firmware. No, I can't. At least you can do that with this. Can't even update E-steps of that machine. Can't even move it in more than 10 millimeter increments at a time. That is so annoying. That is so annoying. Bought an Ender 3 clone, now I want a 600 millimeter cube print volume. It's always cool to have a big printer until you realize your print will take you 3 days. And if the power flickers 2 days into it, you're done. It's always fun in games until you have a 5-day print time. A lot of times it's easier just to print it in multiple parts and glue it together. So this is a bamboo. Here's the thing. What is a bamboo? It's an enclosed Core XY machine. That's an enclosed Core XY machine. That's an enclosed Core XY machine. That the V-Core is an enclosed Core XY. The Trident's enclosed XY. The Anycubic Photon X2 is a resin machine. It's not Core XY. There is no XY movement. I mean, like, under it all, they're just enclosed Core XY machines. They're NEMA 7. They all use the same motors. They all have GT2 belt. They all use high flow hot ends. They're all direct feed tool heads. They're all running on 32-bit MCUs. They all have pressure advance and input shaper. Like, functionally, that's like saying, well, a Honda Civic's a clone of a Toyota Corolla. Is a clone of a Ford Focus. They all have 4 tires and an engine and 4 doors, and they drive down the road. Like, functionally, they're all the same. They're assembled in different ways, you know, rails, extrusions, not user replaceable X rods. Like, yeah, the way they are built is different, but on paper, if you list down the functions and what they each do, it's the same. They just go about it slightly different ways. Like this, it has a little cutter in the tool head. It doesn't need the cutter in the tool head. It's only in there because Bamboo has it. And they're like, oh, we gotta have a cutter. Whoop-de-doo. I really don't care that it has a cutter in the tool head. They just do a normal retract like every other machine. But they have it. Whoop-de-doo. I don't get it. Same with the carbon rods. Why are you doing carbon rods? Everyone was moving towards rails, and then Bamboo comes out with rods, and we go back to rods. Rails are better. I said it. Go back to rails. Disregard rods. Return to rail. Speaking of rails, let's give away some stuff. Who wants to win a spool filament from Polymaker? You have 1 minute to enter if you haven't entered yet. Can you use a Prusa mini bed? Maybe. I don't know. Return to monkey. Exactly. That's it. We're ditching it all. Threaded rods. Threaded rods. Not metric even. An M4 screw for your go get a brass plug and drill it out and wrap it with wire. Qidi versus Micron. Do you want to build it or do you want to? Okay, here's the thing with the. Anytime you ask me a commercial machine versus a DIY machine, do you want to take it out of the box and just print, or do you want to build the printer and have fun tinkering? If you just want to print, get the commercial machine. If you want to build the machine and have fun with the maintenance of it and the modding of it and the tweaking and the tuning, go the DIY route. It's completely different ecosystems. They'll both print just fine. But one you built yourself and you had the satisfaction of that and the adventure of that. The other one, you took it out of the box, so you hit update firmware and you hit print. So, did I order an M4 kit? I did! Thank you for the 10, Ricardo, because that's where that's going to. Okay, if you haven't entered for your chance to win some Polymaker filament, it's too late. You will have another chance, maybe this weekend if I stream. I don't know if I'm streaming this weekend, though, because the wife is working, mandatory overtime, and it's just me and the little guy. And I can't really stream with a 4-year-old, 5-year-old now, running around the house. It's not that I don't trust them, it's just, I just don't trust them. Okay. So it was a 16-minute benchy, even though they claimed it was a 15-minute benchy. So somebody give me a number between 15 and 16. I need a number between 15 and 16. Go! $15, that works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, the computer knows, because the computer knows everything, and it's going to take our jobs. I will say that's coming out pretty good so far. Funk Enthusiast. Congratulations. Let me pull up your information here. So you will get an email from me after the stream ends here with some information on how to collect your filament from Polymaker. So link for them in the description if you want to check out some Polymaker filament on your own, because they do make quality printer chow, and you want to buy some and help support the channel, link in the description. Okay, so there we go. 4-year-old whiskey. Ooh, that'd be nice. Okay, got compulsive. Well, her job does. Okay, so I am saying that looks pretty smooth. Like, that's looking pretty good, I will say so far. So this is an estimated 4-hour print, I think. I'll post it. It's 8% done. It says it'll be done around 5 p.m. So I'll post pictures of this and this once this finishes. If it finishes, hopefully it doesn't pop off the bed. So yeah, I'll post some pictures of this on Twitter. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, that hellhole that is that social media site, at 3DP Nero. Make sure you join the Discord. I'll post some pictures of this right now in the Discord. And then, yeah, that's about it. I got to go pick up the little guy at school. So shout out to Qidi for sending me this machine. Recap, I'll put a little, I'll try and update, pin it on the video description at some point tonight. TLDR, the unboxing and setup was actually quite nice. It's all on the screen, a little bit of English to work with, but it's fine. The initial firmware that shipped with this needs to be updated. So if you get one of these machines, first things first, download the updated firmware on their site, put it on the USB stick, and update the firmware. And then go through the initial setup, and then it's working fine now. So I think we just had issues with that initial firmware that shipped with it, was just kind of not right. And now we're kind of okay now, I think. So initial impressions are good. I don't know if I'm going to do a review on it, or I might wait till I get the K1 and do kind of like a looking at all three, because I don't like doing printer reviews, because I don't really, I don't know, I don't think I'm good at them, and printer reviews really suck in the metrics. So I'm going to end it there. I got to go pick up the little guy at school. So shout out to Qidi for sending me this machine. If you want to buy one yourself or want to know more, link in the description as well. Again, they sent this machine. There's no contract. I'm allowed to say what I want to say. They're not paying me for this. I do get to keep the machine though. And I might give it away at some point. We'll see. I got to keep the box. Shout out to Polymaker for the spool of filament that we gave away as well. If you want to know about them or more, links in the description as well. They're affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra, and they go a long way supporting the channel. Grab some Only Benchies merch. I don't know if I'll stream this weekend. Follow the Discord and Twitter for updates because of just timing. And if not, I will see you on Tuesday for some more rat rig shenanigans. We got to enclose it and input shape it and do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, for those that donate to the channel, became members of the channel, gifted memberships to others, I thank you. I would not be able to do the things I do, create the content I create, without your continued support. You make it all possible. So cheers. I will enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be safe out there. Wash your hands. Bye.